From the MCM Entertainment Center in suburban Philadelphia, welcome to MCM the Podcast, Episode 1, All Things Games. Given that our particular focus is on trivia, that's a good place to start, but more on that shortly. Let me introduce myself. My name is Bill McManaman. I'm the owner and managing director of a mobile entertainment company outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, of these great United States called MCM Entertainment. If you're new to us, we specialize in trivia event hosting for the U.S. Mid-Atlantic region for fundraisers, socials, corporate team building, school assemblies, weekly bar and pub events, as well as online trivia events for the rest of these United States. In mid-March of 2020, the beginning of the quarantine due to COVID-19, we started hosting trivia on Facebook Live as somewhat of a distraction, and we had a lot of fun together with old and new friends around the country. And now, quite frankly, I just don't know how to sit still, and I'm kicking off this new podcast. I'm thrilled to have quite a cast of characters by my side for this journey. First, I'm joined by my lovely daughters, Erin and Sara McManaman. Say hello, girls.
Hello, girls.
Oh, goodness. Erin is the MCM Entertainment office manager. Sara produces our online productions. Girls, great to have you by my side.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. We're excited.
Also joining us is my niece, Colleen Seg. Colleen is the manager of grassroots advocacy for the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States. I honestly have no idea what that means, but it sounds impressive. And when you work on something that has "of the United States" in the title, it is definitely taken to a new level.
Very official over here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're like an ambassador.
That's what I aim to be.
The Honorable Colleen Seg. Last but not least, we have John Grossman. John runs John Grossman Entertainment, which offers quality disc jockey entertainment, trivia services, and voiceovers to the Delaware Valley, and his website is johngrossman.com. John is not only a fantastic trivia host with a wealth of useless knowledge, but is more importantly a great friend. John, welcome. We're pleased to have you in this cast of characters.
Oh, and what a cast it is. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, the theme for this podcast is all things games. All questions will be related to games, game shows, yada, yada, yada. We have 6 rounds of 5 questions each. You'll be playing at home. You'll be self-scoring. You'll be on the honor system. Round 1 is current events and history as it relates to games. Round 2 is entertainment, of course, as it relates to games. Arts and literature for round 3. Science, nature, and geography for round 4. And round 5 is sports and leisure. And round 6 is by the numbers. Colleen, as an advocate for distilled spirits, do you have a recommendation for a perfect game night cocktail?
Of course. You have to have a cocktail or something yummy to sip on when you're playing games with your friends or family.
Especially family.
Yes. Especially family. So today we are going to be having a cocktail I call the jackpot. A lot of games revolve around money and risk, and you have to have a little extra liquid courage.
I agree.
when you're making your decisions and strategizing. So this lovely cocktail has gin, dry and sweet vermouth, orange juice, and a little bit of bitters, because sometimes you get burned in these games. So it's a little bit of that bitter taste in your mouth.
To represent the sore losers of the world.
Yeah, the sore losers. Yep.
Sounds great. And let's put the ingredients in our podcast notes.
Cheers, everyone.
Enjoy responsibly.
Yes, as always, as always. So let's get to trivia. We go to round number 1. We go to current events and history as it relates to games. And we go to question number 1. Trademarked in 1948, what board game's name is defined as to grasp, collect, or hold on to something? Question number 2. During World War II, to help prisoners of war, British Secret Service conspired with the UK manufacturer to stuff a compass, small metal tools such as files, and most importantly, a map into cutout compartments of what board game? Question number 3. By following a series of commands issued through voice recordings produced by a speaker by the toy, which has multiple inputs, including pressable buttons, pull handles, twisting cranks, spinnable wheels, flickable switches, the player progresses, and the pace of what Hasbro game increases? Question number 4. What Latin word translated means place where three roads meet? And question number 5. What TV game theme song was originally written as a lullaby for the creator's son titled A Time for Tony? Great questions.
Yeah.
Great questions.
This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. So let's go through our answers of round number 1, current events in history. Trademarked in 1948, what board game's name is defined as to grasp, collect, or hold on to something? Scrabble. All-time great game.
Yeah.
I'm like the family champion.
I wouldn't really say that.
Seriously.
I
mean,
think
there was
you
a
can.
time when Mom would win all the time.
Yeah.
And then there was a turning point where I just became Scrabble champion.
Right.
Really?
When was that turning point?
Well, she was in labor at the time. And we probably played 5 or 6 games. I mean, she was in labor for quite some time. So we probably played 5 or 6 games. I beat her down every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So I'm now the family champion.
I don't think focused on other things at the time.
Sounds like a really supportive husband.
Yeah.
I do what I can. I do what I can. Question number 2. During World War II, to help prisoners of war, British Secret Service conspired with the UK manufacturer to stuff a compass, small metal tools such as files, and most importantly, a map into cutout compartments of what board game? Monopoly.
I hate Monopoly.
Yeah. How do you hate Monopoly?
I hate Monopoly. Like I don't enjoy it. It ends badly every single time. Always in a board flip.
Does it end? I feel like it takes
It
forever.
never ends.
Right.
That was how many people have actually finished?
Well,
I'm
the
not
game
even
kind of is definitely over when the board gets flipped upside down.
I could do that right now and end this cast.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Does it ever really end? I think everyone's like, all right, enough. Everyone go around the board one more time, and then we'll count our money.
I think that's why when somebody says, do you want to play Monopoly? You're like, ugh. Like,
know.
you know, you're in it for the long haul. It's not like, 45 minutes to an hour. You're in there for 3 hours and the game just
3
consumes.
hours if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Very true.
Question number 3. By following a series of commands issued through voice recordings produced by a speaker by the toy, which has multiple inputs, including pressable buttons, pull handles, twisting cranks, spinnable wheels, flickable switches, the player progresses, and the pace of what Hasbro game increases? Bop It.
It's a fun one. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think we ever had it.
No, but my friends did.
So did
I
my
would
friends.
play at
Yeah.
my friends'
Oh, you
house.
guys were so...
We were so deprived.
Yeah.
No bop it for you.
Yeah, that no SpongeBob SquarePants.
I know. I still to this day get beaten up about
I don't
that.
feel a
tell
little
people.
uncultured.
Yeah.
I don't tell people because they're like, "Are you serious?" And it's like, "Listen, I know."
Usually kind of fake laugh with the
Yeah.
references like, oh, yeah.
Question number 4. What Latin word translated means place where three roads meet? Trivia.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Question number 5. What TV game theme song was originally written as a lullaby for the creator's son titled A Time for Tony? Jeopardy. And the title was later changed to Think.
I can't imagine that being a lullaby.
Right? Like that kind of gives me
That get-
anxiety.
yes.
It's like,
Well, you're assuming that the tempo was 30
That's
seconds.
true.
It might have been much slower. It might have
True.
been a different key.
And we're triggered to think.
Right.
Yeah, like when
Panic,
anyone
yeah.
thinks that. Yeah.
Read an article once about if you're stuck somewhere, you don't have a clock or your phone or something, just measure stuff in JTMs. So if you're waiting, it's Jeopardy theme music. And if you're be back in 5 minutes, well, then you just count 10 JTMs to yourself.
interesting.
And you can mark time if you know the proper cadence of the theme song.
Right.
10 would be 5 minutes.
There you go. There you go.
The more you know.
We move to round number 2. This is focused around entertainment in games. We get a question number 1. What musical act pleads with the listener to quit playing games with my heart in their 1996 hit song? Number 2, featured on Netflix, who stars in the lead role as female chess expert Beth Harmon in the popular series The Queen's Gambit? Number 3, the Griswolds win an all-expenses-paid European vacation on what game show within the movie National Lampoon's European Vacation? Number 4, contestants unknowingly climb into a cab and try to win money by answering questions correctly on the way to their desired location on a game show Cash Cab. Who is the host or the driver? And question number 5, who were the first and current host of Family Feud? Let's go through the answers of round number 2, entertainment. Question number 1. What musical act pleads with the listener to quit playing games with my heart in their 1996 hit song? That would be the Backstreet Boys. They would be the most successful boy group of all time.
It makes
Our
sense.
boys.
I know. We literally grew up on them and NSYNC and Britney Spears. Like that was our
Tell me about it.
Dance moves and
I embarrassed myself. I'm 3 years old.
your family, I think.
True. Really, my mother, who's
Yeah.
an early childhood educator, 3 years old, nursery school. My teacher asks our class, who wants to get up and sing a song for us? You know, the calendar song, the weather
Alphabet.
song,
Twinkle, twinkle,
the
little
alphabet.
star.
Like, you could count, whatever. I get up there and I go, oops, I did it again.
At 3 years
I play, but I mean, on. And they're like, my teacher was so surprised, like, what 3-year-old knows
Right.
Britney Spears? So she went running to my mother, who was then like, it's a
I have
family
no
What do you
thing.
say?
We just,
Yeah. Older cousins. She has older cousins. And
yeah. Dance routines.
Yeah.
too good.
Question number 2, featured on Netflix, who stars in the lead role as female chess expert Beth Harmon in the popular series The Queen's Gambit? Anya Taylor-Joy.
I've heard so many good things about that, but I just haven't.
Me too.
Seen
It's on
it
my
yet.
list.
Yeah.
Question number 3, the Griswolds win an all-expenses-paid European vacation on what game show within the movie National Lampoon's European Vacation? Pig in a Poke. Pig in a Poke.
I love National Lampoon. I made you guys all watch the Christmas Vacation, and like I was cracking up, and you guys are like,
She presented it like as like the funniest Christmas movie to ever exist. So then we all sit down as a family and I'm watching this and I'm like,
Funnier than Elf?
no, like I don't think so. Like it's like that.
It's a classic.
slapstick.
It is a classic.
like,
I think you need to
classic.
be a Chevy Chase,
yeah, you have to. Yeah.
You need to enjoy his shtick.
Yeah.
It's funny to me,
I get the joy of family visiting.
and the chaos and the Christmas time. Yeah, I think it's very relatable.
Right.
So that's what also makes it funny that everyone has, that great aunt, everyone has that uncle, that cousin. So
All our holidays were such a mess. How did you get through it, Dad? I had a lot of help from Jack Daniels.
right,
It's-
exactly, exactly. It's good. It's good.
Question number 4, contestants unknowingly climb into a cab and try to win money by answering questions correctly on the way to their desired location on the game show Cash Cab. Who is the host or the driver? Ben Bailey.
If you're in New York City and get in a cab that is not a minivan, you're an idiot.
You're doing it wrong. Yeah, I agree.
If you anything other than that style of vehicle that Ben drives around in that amazing game show,
Right, you've no chance then.
let 10 cars go past before
Yeah.
you get in the one that might be the Cash Cab.
I
yeah,
agree.
You
Brilliant.
never know. Was
Good
that
strategy.
on for a while? Like, were there a lot of seasons of that?
Yes, and then he took a break and came back.
Yeah, I believe so too.
I
yeah.
just recently, like over quarantine, got into Survivor, and I love it.
It's brilliant.
It's so good. And then, so I watched this season with Rob and Amber, obviously the Survivor couple. And then since I saw them, then I had to watch them on Amazing Race. So now I'm sucked into Amazing Race. So now I'm at a dilemma because I have Survivor, which is like 40 seasons long, and I have Amazing Race, which is like 40 seasons long. And I'm on season like 9.
That's why I got to pick seasons that are like shows that are just 8 episodes. You can
Yeah.
bang it out. You know what happens.
Or you just rewatch the same things like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
17 seasons, and I think I've seen it all the way through like 4 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's me with
I
West
love
Wing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've probably gone through West Wing around 8 times around the horn.
Crazy.
7 seasons.
That's on my list too.
Sounds like a
same.
future podcast coming up.
Yeah, maybe.
The West Wing.
Sitcoms.
Question number 5. Who are the first and current hosts of the Family Feud? You must name both. Of course, you've got Steve Harvey, who's the current one, and I think my favorite would be the original Richard Dawson.
Ever there was a man born to be a game show.
Yes, exactly.
True.
Aaron, you a fan of Family Feud?
I am. I do love Steve Harvey. He always has a
I
good
think
one for
I think
us.
Steve does a great job,
He
but I
does.
think there's
He does.
something about
No,
the original.
Of course. But I mean, Steve's funny and he's comedic, and I enjoy him.
Yeah.
I love Family Feud, and I'm that annoying person that like will sit and I'll also be the audience. Like when it's like ding, and be like, a dog, ding,
Yeah.
a boo.
It's
Do
really
you
fun to
find-
watch it with.
This is just the old man that I am. Do you find that the questions are purposely trying to elicit an appropriate response or answers?
So I actually read that some of the answers are changed. Like, so for instance, if it says, whatever, and then / something inappropriate,
Right.
they, I think, add that in. I don't think people actually say that. I think
Okay.
they add it in as a comedic relief. I believe I read that. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that, yes, I think they do pick questions to get something like that, but I think they also like alter the answers a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, and then some of them are just like, are you serious? Like, how are these not it? And people are getting X's, and you're like, what could it possibly be? And it's like 2 people said this, and you're like, yeah, doesn't make sense. But it's fun. I mean, you could sit and watch them for hours.
Sure.
I enjoy Family Feud. I love any game show network. I could sit and watch that
Right there with
for
you.
hours.
All right, so next up is round number 3, arts and literature. So we go to question number 1, originally called Reversey. What board game now shares its name with a Shakespeare character? Number 2, a hit song for K-Star in 1952, though not used for the theme song, is also the title of what letter, phrase, guessing TV game show? Number 3, your inner artist can come to life when you play what charades drawing based game? First created in 1985. Number 4, A Game of Thrones is the first novel in A Song of Ice and Fire, a series of fantasy novels by what American author? And number 5, what classic literary character meets the Red Queen, who reveals that the entire countryside is laid out in squares like a gigantic chessboard? Let's go through the answers of round number 3, arts and literature. Originally called Reversey, what board game now shares its name with a Shakespeare character? Othello. Number 2, a hit song for K-Star in 1952, though not used for the theme song, is also the title of what letter, phrase, guessing TV game show? Wheel of Fortune. Number 3, your inner artist can come to life when you play what charades drawing based game? First created in 1985, Pictionary. Is that the one I hate?
No. That's
Categories.
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 I love
Could you
categories.
hate that?
I hate that
know.
game. Because
Because you always get vetoed.
well, it always seems like the rules change. And it always seems like when I play it, everybody seems to be able to kind of gang up on me.
Well, I think you make up the rules as you go. So the rules
I don't make
depend on no, but the part of the game is
It's all
the
like
rules depend on who
voting.
you're
I don't
playing
like
with.
that. Yeah, I don't like
With
that.
your peers.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. A Game of Thrones is the first novel in a series, A Song of Ice and Fire, a series of fantasy novels by what American author? George R.R. Martin.
I love Game of Thrones.
Never seen it.
What?
Yeah, never seen it.
Yeah, I'm not a
either.
big fan of like
Oh my gosh.
flying dragons
It's not as medieval as you think it is. Like I think a lot of people get turned off by like the sci-fi like medieval.
Did you see it, John?
I've seen a couple episodes, but not enough that I could be any part
Were
of
you
it.
like not be able to get into it, or you just
No, I like flying dragons and I like medieval stuff. I was just other stuff on my radar at the time, and I just think it became. And I really like Peter Dinklage, so him alone.
He's awesome in
Right,
it.
he's amazing.
He's
He's
so
an amazing
good in
actor. That's what's going to make me want to go back to it. I just haven't done it yet. Just
Gotcha.
It's so worth it. I mean, it kind of, not that it jumped the shark, but is that the saying? Jump the
Yeah.
shark?
jump the dragon.
Yeah,
right.
not that jump the dragon, but
Do you know where Jump the Shark comes from?
I do.
Go ahead.
Happy Days.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually
Jump the Shark.
Fonzie.
Fonz, right?
Fonz
And he does
jumps.
it in another show.
Does he?
Yeah, but that's an
Wait, what was that?
Henry Winkler, the Fonz.
Yeah.
Henry Winkler, as an actor, jumps the shark in 2 series.
What was the other series?
Wow.
Oh,
Question
trivia
for another
question.
time.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Now I'm stumped. But yeah, so he jumps. So that
Literally
the
jumps
thinking
the shark.
was it was that particular point in the series
People
that the
were
series
like,
kind of
wow.
went on the down. Like it was kind of like,
Well,
Born
for the
is
younger
higher.
listeners, way back, probably 6-7 years before he jumped the shark, he jumped over. What did he jump? The chicken stand at Arnold's, and that was huge. It was Evel Knievel was a daredevil in the 70s. They were trying to capitalize on that.
yeah.
Who's got a motorcycle? Who's got a leather jacket? The Fonz.
Right.
Let's make him jump something.
Right.
And it was a popular episode. Then they tried to put the genie back in the bottle and have him jump over a shark, and that was it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it definitely didn't jump the shark, but there was so much character development leading up to the final season, and it just felt like they took everything that they were building up and just went, never mind, and
Yeah.
just ended the
Yeah.
series, and people were like up in arms about it and like freaking out. So
There you go. Question number 5. What classic literary character meets the Red Queen who reveals that the entire countryside is laid out in squares like a gigantic chessboard? Alice Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. And that's not Alice in Wonderland. Right?
Right.
Rapid fire. Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Fortune, 100%.
Yeah.
I love Wheel of Fortune.
But I feel really smart if I know Jeopardy questions.
See, I think my thing is I never know the Jeopardy questions, so I can only participate in Wheel of Fortune. I
Yeah,
feel
I
superior
think I would go
in Wheel
Jeopardy.
of Fortune.
I think I would go Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune, I don't know. They sometimes they come down. It could be 2 letters left, and I'm like,
And then it pops up and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not
Yeah.
get
Your
that?
dog.
yeah, right. Yeah,
John, how about you?
Jeopardy,
Yeah.
without question. Yep.
yeah.
I mean, it is a classic.
Has anybody seen it since the passing of
I
I have
Alex
not
Trebek?
seen any episodes with any of the fill-in hosts.
Me
I've
either.
not.
I can't imagine filling in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know Aaron Rodgers has been filling in.
He's actually a huge Jeopardy fan.
Yeah, he
And
is.
he won, I think, the celebrity one or something.
but does he
Okay.
have the personality to carry a show like that? That's what I'd be interested in.
I don't know. I think he'd surprise us, to be honest.
I think you could.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
love
you
to.
want to put in for it?
I'd love to. I mean, I think it would be a thankless job. I think anybody that fills in is probably
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be.
Because you can't fill those shoes
Yeah.
ever.
You're going to be the Deborah Norville of game show hosts.
Exactly.
You don't want to be the next one.
Right.
You want to be the one after
Right.
whoever fills in.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly right. We go to round number 4. This is our science, nature, and geography round as it relates to games. I'm amazed how you put these questions in here, John, into these categories. Question number 1. What board game introduced in 1978 features a quartet of the most dangerous animals on the African continent? Number 2. Liberty City, Vice City, Carcer City, and the state of San Andreas all are featured in the universe of what video game franchise? Question number 3. As you test your surgical skills in the board game Operation, it is important to know the name of your patient. What is the patient's name?
Does he even have a name?
He does.
He
does.
He does have a name. Number 4, the self-build classic detective game Clue is set in the mansion of what murder victim in North American versions? Number 5, board game math. Multiply the number of ships each player has in Battleship by the number of holes required to sink all the ships of your opponents.
You have to really love Battleship for that one, I feel like.
And
Yeah.
math.
Yeah.
And math, right? Here are your answers to round number 4, science, nature, and geography. What board game introduced in 1978 features a quartet of the most dangerous animals on the African continent? Hungry hippos.
I don't know if anyone has seen, but there are tons of YouTube videos of families recreating Hungry Hippo live, like full.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
And really easy to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that
You
would
need
be
a couple skateboards, a
Uh-huh.
couple laundry baskets, and tennis balls or
Uh-huh.
something really, really easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, corporate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen a video of like a nursing home doing it, and it's like the cutest thing ever. It's like just these assistants like pushing in these like little old ladies on
Wheelchairs. Yeah.
and they're like grabbing the ball. It's so cute.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Question number 2. Liberty City, Vice City, Carcer City, and the state of San Andreas are all featured in the universe of what video game franchise? Grand Theft Auto.
I just had the thought that it was Jumanji because I was like, oh, San Andreas is The Rock, and The Rock's in Jumanji. So I was like, oh, it has to be Jumanji, I guess. And then it's obviously not.
Question number 3. It's amazing how your mind goes,
I
Sarah.
know.
Question number 3. As you test your surgical skills in the board game Operation, it is important to know the name of your patient. What is the patient's name? Cavity Sam.
Cavity.
I guess because he's a body cavity.
Yeah. Like
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I was Cavity Sam for Halloween one year.
that's amazing.
That's awesome.
I bought a Dremel tool just to make life-size pieces
Oh my gosh.
of the basket, butterflies in the stomach,
Oh my
the,
gosh.
the writer's block. My wife was an amazing-looking nurse in an appropriate nurse costume, but I was a life-size Cavity Sam, and I'll share a picture on the website
Okay.
so people can see.
That's great.
My wife and I in our youth.
That's
The only thing I
hilarious.
couldn't figure out then, I figured it out since, how to make it work. Like to buzz and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Oh,
my
wow.
Oh,
nose
man,
went
can you
red,
imagine?
Right. My nose lit red all the time and everything, but
That's
it was a
awesome.
life-size.
That's so
Cavity
cool.
Sam.
That's cool. Question number 4. The self-build classic detective game Clue is set in the mansion of what murder victim in North American versions? Mr. Body. And question number 5. Board game math. Multiply the number of ships each player has in Battleship by the number of holes required to sink all ships of your opponent. 85. There are 5 ships, 17 holes.
Interesting.
There you go. John, pick one. Operation or Jenga?
You would think I would say Operation because of the Halloween costume I just discussed and everything, but Jenga is still in our lives in beer gardens.
Mm-hmm.
People play it. There's multiple. Well, I guess both have multiple branded versions
Yeah.
of it.
Garden version, like outside versions, bigger blocks.
There
Mini
is no
versions,
life-size
tabletop.
tabletop version of Operation.
There should be.
No, I agree. I agree. The CSI people could get into that and really like bring,
Like that would be a fun drinking game.
But Jenga to me, I think, is a more interactive. The outside factor, people play it. All ages can play it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas Operation tends to be more of a children's game.
It
Agreed.
used to
Jenga-
scare me.
Hmm?
I used to love playing it, but it used to scare
Oh, that noise
me.
is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vibration.
And it
everything.
like kind of like
Zapped a little.
zaps a little.
You know what's second to that noise?
What?
Do you remember the game Perfection?
Yes.
Where you had to
Like
you had to
pop.
put and then it would pop and the anticipation of the pop
Yeah.
and then the loud thing of pop, just the popping
And all
and
the
then
pieces
all the pieces
everywhere.
popping all
Yeah.
over the place.
That was just as scary.
We go to game round number 5. This is sports and leisure as it pertains to games. We go to question number 1. A curse supposedly hit several athletes after they were chosen for the cover packaging graphic for what football-based video game? Number 2, since 1976, winners win cash, certainly, but also a bracelet in what Las Vegas tournament? Number 3, With names like Dunk the Ducks, Clown Shoe Golf, and Musical Eggs, what two-word phrase was given to stunts which the contestants could ask for if they do not know the answer to a question while on Double Dare? Number 4, what board game features the characters Princess Lolly, Lord Licorice, and Grandma Nuts? Question number 5, John Cena and Nicole Byer, with Camille Kostek serving as field host, appear on what game show reboot which features twists and new elements that will push contestants' athleticism and determination to even greater extremes? Here are your answers to round number 5, sports and leisure. Question number 1, a curse supposedly hit several athletes after they were chosen for the cover packaging graphic for what football-based video game? EA Sports Madden NFL.
I have to say, I was like unstoppable. If you played me in Madden 07, just Madden 07, I'm terrible. Like, I've played most recent ones and I'm horrific. Madden 07, I had the same play every time.
Yeah, you had to have the Patriots.
I had to have the Patriots, which is ridiculous now because...
And it was one particular play. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you knew it was coming.
Nope.
Even if whatever defense you put in there, it didn't matter.
The same
She always
play every
scored a
time
touchdown.
and would cream. Like, I would be 100 and something points against like...
Yeah, there was like a
15.
glitch in the system.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my question. Did you look it up? Did you know it? Just discover it?
I just
was it
realized
like a cheat code from?
No, it wasn't a cheat code. Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I saw a play. I knew that I just had to push these buttons and I would do it. And every time, I mean, yeah.
Without fail.
And it was every game. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this one time I beat someone. Like, for the year, we got it for Christmas. And for that entire year I played, anyone that played me
Yeah, but
lost.
she never gave the Patriots up. That
Yeah.
was the other thing.
Right.
It's like, she's so good at Madden. She's so good at Madden. You should play me. It's like, okay, I want to be the Patriots. No, you can't be the Patriots.
Yeah.
It's like, she knew.
I only knew one play, and I was really good at it.
Question number 2, since 1976, winners win cash, certainly, but also a bracelet in what Las Vegas tournament? World Series of Poker. Number 3, with names like Dunk the Ducks, Clown Shoe Golf, and Musical Eggs, what two-word phrase was given to stunts which the contestants could ask for if they do not know the answer to a question while on Double Dare? Physical challenges.
Double Dare was a great show.
Was that on Nick?
Yeah.
Was that in the, like the same era as like
Temple of
Temple of-
whatever. Temple of Doom? Is that what it was
I was
called?
going to say Temple of Doom. too.
Hidden Temple.
Yeah,
Hidden
Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
That
It
was a good one.
That was just as good. Yeah.
Question number 4, what board game features the characters Princess Lolly, Lord Licorice, and Grandma Nuts? Candyland.
Classic.
Classic, yeah. Number 5, John Cena and Nicole Byer, with Camille Kostek serving as field hosts, appear on what game show reboot featuring twists and new elements that will push contestants' athleticism and determination to even greater extremes? Wipeouts.
We used to love that show.
Mm-hmm.
We used to like recreate it in the pool. Like we would have like noodles and like tubes and stuff. You had to like cross over. I would watch that and be like, I could totally run across those red balls. Like there's no chance. Like how do these people fall? But I'm sure like
There's no way.
obviously, yeah.
My wife always wants to see the rider that you, the release that you have to sign.
Oh,
She
yeah.
swears
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a-
You
It has
signed,
to
you
be.
have to.
Yeah.
These people get walloped with these like sweeper arms.
Your dad almost died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was drowned. In
Yeah,
our
everybody
version
thought
of
it was so funny. Like everybody's like, "Oh, it's so funny," and I'm literally
stuck upside down in a tube.
And your
in the pool
feet
with my
flailing.
feet flailing, and everybody's like, "Oh, isn't it great?" I
And
couldn't
he
get
can't
myself.
spin himself over.
Couldn't spin myself over.
We should have had you sign a liability.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should've.
yeah, all fun and games until
That's why they say do not try this at home when you watch these kind of shows.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. We took our chances.
There you go. So we move to our final trivia round. This is round number 6. We call it By the Numbers. And in this round, all the answers are specific numbers. And what we're going to ask you to do is you've been playing home, along the way. You're self-scoring, whatever, and how you did. God bless you. Let's, but in this particular area, we want to hear from you. And we want you to basically take the numbers, add them together for all the questions, and send us your result. And you're going to send them to mcment.xyz. It's a website. We're going to capture your result. And the way we're going to do it is the first one with the correct answer will receive a special shout out on our MCM Entertainment Facebook page.
You could be famous.
You could be famous, right?
Yeah, this is the competitive portion of the show. We don't really care how you did on the other
Bragging
piece.
rights.
Correct. This is bragging rights. This gives you a little
Send
bit
us
of an edge.
all of your scores.
All right, so you're going to add the total for each of the 5 questions. You're going to just put one total in, okay? So question number 1, Sorry uses a deck made up of exactly how many cards, not playing cards, during the game, okay, with each numbered 1 to 12, but no 6s or 9s, as well as 4 specialty cards. Am I reading that right, John?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Uses a deck made up of exactly how many cards, not playing cards, during the play with each numbered 1 to 12, but no 6s or 9s, as well as 4 specialty cards.
Right.
Okay.
You're going to send your letters to MC. In case I'm wrong.
All your complaints.
All right.
Question
They
number
actually
2.
go to johngrossman.com.
That's JON.
Question number 2. How many tiles are in a standard Scrabble board game, including the blanks? That's a good one. Number 3. Occurring in 2011 in Stamford, Connecticut, what is the highest score ever recorded in a U.S. Scrabble tournament? Number 4, how many white cards does each player draw in Cards Against Humanity? I've only played this a couple times.
I've never played it.
game.
I played it. We played it as a family,
family.
and
It's not a family game.
yeah, it's not a family game.
Right.
It was at that
Friend of
point
mine
that I
ended up
thought,
in the hospital. He hurt himself laughing so much.
oh, no kidding.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
I've never played it. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
yeah, right?
Question number 5. Milton Bradley's Connect 4, Pretty Sneaky Sis television commercial, first aired in what year? And here we only want the last 2 digits. Okay, so you're going to add up the answers to 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last 2 digits in 5. And you're going to add all of them together. You're going to go to mcment.xyz. That's mcment.xyz. First one with the correct answer will receive a special shout out on our MCM Entertainment Facebook page. We've come up with a sweet 16 of board games. Prior to this podcast, we came up with a bracket of 64 board games. Now, John, how would you categorize these are kind of popular board games. We're not saying this is an all-inclusive list. I'm sure someone could argue and say
I would
you missed
say
some, but I
for
think we
the
got the most
folks
popular
listening
ones.
at home, that chances are they've either played or own at least 80% of these games.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you say that's a fair
Yeah.
assessment?
Yeah,
Fair.
agreed. Now, just for the sake of time, we went through the brackets, we put them together, and we narrowed them down to this what we call the Sweet 16. All right, so the Sweet 16, the Game of Life, Monopoly, Scrabble, Battleship, Checkers, Operation, Boggle, Jenga, Uno, Dominoes, Sorry, Scattergories, Cards Against Humanity, Throw Burrito, Othello, and Pokemon cards went to the Sweet 16. All right?
Some good ones.
So we're going to go through each of the last brackets. So the first one up is the Game of Life, which beat Agricola and Apples to Apples to get to the Sweet 16, versus Operation, which beat Perfection and Pretty Pretty Princess, despite Colleen's objections.
I'm telling you, Pretty Pretty Princess
It's a
came
classic.
with
So we have the number 1
Rachel
seed,
Ray.
Game of Life versus Operation. Aaron, we're going to go to you first.
Oh, great.
Who were you picking there? Game of Life versus Operation.
I'm going to pick the Game of Life.
Game of Life.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I like Operation. It's great, but I really enjoy the Game of Life.
All right. Colleen, we'll go to you second. We have Uno versus Pokemon cards. Now, Uno defeat Dominion and Trivial Pursuit, which I thought was a shocker.
Yeah.
to go to the Sweet 16, and Pokemon cards beat Strategio, which I think is a shocker, and Cranium, a double shocker. So they are really like, they might be the sleeper team. Pokemon. So it's Uno against Pokemon cards. What say you, Colleen?
I know people love both. I know people who are very passionate about Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to go with Uno because I think it's anyone can play at any time, quick to understand, go-to game. It's fun for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
I have respect for people who love Pokemon. I just never got into it, unfortunately.
All right, John, to you, appropriately, your matchup is Scrabble, which beat Rummy Cube and Trouble, and is facing off against Jenga, which beat Guess Who and Backgammon. So you have the number 5 seed Scrabble and the number 21 seed Jenga in this matchup.
Scrabble.
You don't even want to think about it.
No. So there is tournaments, clubs. Have you ever heard of a Jenga club that meets at the library every third Thursday of the month?
No, they meet at the bars every Friday.
Great, that's perfect. But this is for money, and Scrabble, people, it's a religion.
Okay.
No, I agree.
Thank you.
Both are fun to play, but Scrabble is just a whole nother level.
All right, we go to the next two. So, Sarah, you're going to go with Checkers, which beat Hi-Ho Cheerio, which Erin was a little upset about, and Mousetrap, which I think we all agreed that the Mousetrap was just simply hard to put together.
We can
No
never
one
figure it
knows.
out. We have it. I think we played it like twice.
Where like Milton Bradley executive said, we have all these leftover parts.
Yeah, let's
Right?
just let's screw with them. Let's screw with
Throw
them.
them all in a box and tell them to build a mouse.
Right.
But it doesn't
Nobody will
actually
figure
go
this out.
together.
Nobody will figure this out.
Throw a set of dice in, a couple colored rats, and we'll just call it Mousetrap. That's what I think happened. I don't know.
So
It has
Checkers
to be. There's no way.
Checkers is the 13th seed. Okay, they're up against the number 4 seed Monopoly.
Why
Monopoly.
would you do this?
Oh,
Monopoly beat Bananagrams, and it also beat Speak Out. Checkers, number 13 seed versus Monopoly, the 4 seed. What say you, Sarah?
Oh my gosh.
So this is probably a bad matchup for me because I absolutely despise Monopoly, but I'm going to take my personal feelings out of it. And I think I have to go with Monopoly just being more of a classic of like game night. You can include your whole team, your whole group.
Family.
Checkers, it's like you have
people.
two
That's a good
people.
point.
And, yeah.
well, the checkers is really fun.
Checkers is really fun, but I think if you're going to play that, like you should be playing chess. Like it's more like
checkers you could play at the bar. on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
bar.
When you're waiting for Cracker Barrel to call your name.
yeah.
John,
can't play
John
right
looks like
now.
he's got a challenge. I'm
No,
not sure.
not a challenge. It's just a consideration. If you're stuck on a desert island with one other person, you can make a checkerboard.
That's correct.
Monopoly is more involved.
Yeah, but if you're
But
if
the
you're
chance
on this,
of being stuck on a
I guess
deserted
if you're
island-
stuck on a deserted
you have
island,
time to
you've got time to
cardboard walk
you got time.
Whittle a Monopoly game together.
If I was stuck
Top
on a
hat out
desert
of a
island,
coconut, right?
I still wouldn't play Monopoly.
All right, but you're picking Monopoly for these purposes.
I just think, it's a classic and everyone loves it besides me. So,
Especially when you just yell game night. Monopoly is one of the top 5 things that comes to your head.
right.
Yep.
No one's inviting a group of people over to play checkers.
All right, so Erin, back to you.
Yes.
We go Cards Against Humanity, which beat out Mastermind and Chess, which as the number 43 seed. That's up against Battleship, which beat out What Do You Meme and Seen It, which we also included Disney Seen It, which is a classic.
Right.
So it's Cards Against Humanity, the 43 seed, taking on Battleship, the number 6 seed.
I'm going to say Battleship. Only because, again, Battleship's a classic and it reminds a lot of people of their childhood. I love Cards Against Humanity, but you have to play with the right group of people. I don't know. And I think also, like, sometimes it can get old because you get the same cards and it's like,
Yeah.
it's not as funny anymore. Like,
Once the initial, like, you pull the card and you read it to the group and you all enjoy it,
The
wears
first time
off,
around.
like, then it's kind of like,
yeah. Whereas Battleship, I think, is a classic. You really could play at any age. I've seen people make Battleship drinking games.
I was just going to say,
like Battle
Colleen's a big
Shots.
Battle Shots.
Like that's super fun.
Fan.
Okay.
So Battle Shots.
All
and
right, we go to the
Battleships.
next one. Do you guys trust me enough that I'm going to change the order here just based upon the matchup? Is that okay?
Sure.
Are you doing this to torture?
No. I think it's
Monopoly
more
for me
appropriate.
again.
I think it's more appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, again, against to prevent that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, John, I'm going to go to you.
Okay.
All right. We've got Dominoes, which beat out Sequence and Risk as the 26th seed, versus Othello, which beat out Axis and Allies and Cribbage. So it's Dominoes, the 26th seed, versus the 55th seed, Othello. Dominoes. Okay, so we'll mark you in for Dominoes. All right, Colleen, this goes to you. We go to the last one in this round, Throw Burrito, which beat out Twister, amazingly enough, and Bingo, amazingly enough. This is the other sleeper, versus Scattergories. Scattergories beat out Yahtzee and Clue. And it's Throw Burrito versus Scattergories.
If you're listening, my mouth is wide open. Jaws on table. This is.
Because you're very passionate about both.
I love both.
Does anyone want to explain what Throw Burrito is to people? I think it's a newer game. I've
It
never
is.
heard of it
So
until you
this
brought
is-
it up.
Okay, Throw Burrito is board card game meets dodgeball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a card game where you're trying to collect points through making matches, but then there's action cards, and you have burrito wars, burrito duels, burrito brawls.
With
And
these
you
plush burritos.
chuck
You chuck them
burritos
at
at
each
each
other.
other. I mean, it doesn't get more fun than that. So,
Oh, man.
So
It
it
is
basically
fun.
says Throw Burrito is what you get when you cross a card game with dodgeball. Try to collect matching sets of cards faster than your opponents. Okay. While simultaneously ducking, dodging, and throwing squishy airborne burritos. The cards you collect earn points. By getting hit by flying burritos, loses them. So clear some space, put away the antiques because you never played a card game quite like this before.
It's very true.
it's awesome. Categories is also awesome.
I really enjoy Scattergories.
Right. It always changes. The letter's never the same.
And you got to pick one.
I'm going to go with a new game, Throw Burrito.
Wow, a stunner.
No, I think I have to challenge that. I'm
Yeah,
going to use
I
my
agree.
challenge. I don't agree with that at
See,
all.
I'm not the okay. So if you guys want a challenge, I'm going to put Mr. Grossman as a judge and jury on this. Put your case in. So
I think Throw Burrito, I had a great time. It was very enjoyable. But like you're saying, Scattergories changes every time. You're never getting the same game because the letter
different,
changes.
though. Like categories,
They're
you have to
different.
think about it.
They're
Throw
different.
Burrito is just hanging out. You can laugh and talk. It's not.
I was fine with playing the amount we played last night. Categories, I could play
10
for
rounds.
hours.
Yeah.
I could play all 16 rounds and still want to play more. Whereas Throw Burrito, as fun and as exciting as it was, I was fine with just like 2 rounds of playing.
I would play it again.
Yeah, for
I had
sure.
fun, but I wouldn't dump Scattergories for it.
Like I could play Categories every day. Throw Burrito.
Colleen, the
I don't know
rebuttal.
if I could. I think it's hard because you love both.
She loves both. Tough. I mean, how am I gonna?
all right, John. Based upon that, you've got the.
I will ask this. Are there branded versions of categories like Disney, Star Wars, Game of Thrones? Are there different, like I said, branded versions of categories? So within the brand, you got a theme.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or expansion packs, or if you wanted to place categories just as they
There's
revolved
only
around.
26 letters in the alphabet.
There's only 2 burritos in that box.
I mean, you can throw this category stuff at people too, but like
You could.
once.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think categories is just kind of its own game.
I'm just
Yeah.
making sure. All right. I'm going to say for me, and forgive me, dear.
It's all right.
Yeah.
As I started this whole thing, my whole explanation, my jaw was on the table. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
All right, so
Both are fun.
categories goes to the next round. So here we go. We go to Sarah. Sorry versus Boggle. Sorry beat Catchphrase and Candyland versus Boggle, which beat I Should Have Known That and Chinese Checkers.
Boggle's the one with the
letters.
little letters, and you shake up the box, and you have to make words out of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I would go sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Both are fun.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent.
But I'd rather play like Scrabble if I'm going to do like a word game.
Agreed.
Right.
All right, so now we go to the Elite Eight. All right, so Erin, it goes to you. Game of Life versus Uno.
Now it's going to get hard.
I think I still go with life. I like life. Uno's
Probably
fun,
would have
but
picked Uno, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to challenge you.
Colleen's going to let you have your own opinion.
So you're going to go to Game of...
Life is great.
All right, so
Uno's fun too, but I don't know. I just feel like there's more to life than Uno.
That's a tough one.
For
Great.
Colleen.
Colleen, number 5 seed Scrabble versus number 4 Monopoly. It's not as hard as it.
Here comes my payback.
I think I might go Monopoly.
Oh,
Really?
Can I?
Woof.
Can I? speak
Sheesh,
up?
I didn't know I was so controversial.
go ahead, John.
I'm going to throw my card in or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Scrabble is. There are Monopoly tournaments, but there isn't literature. There aren't documentaries. There aren't the cult behind Monopoly. There is, but not as much as Scrabble.
There are other branded versions
I
of
get it, I
Monopoly.
get it.
That was your last question. So
You're
There
right.
is a Game
Like,
of Thrones
I know.
Monopoly.
There
There's
is, yeah.
like a ton of different monopolies, but
I think Scrabble has Monopoly beat.
Does it come to me?
It's to you now.
I think it has to go to you.
Sorry, Beans.
that's all right.
I got to go with Scrabble.
Are we talking like personal preference or like?
Yeah, I think
The
some of it could
world.
come in. You know,
Oh, all right.
I think some of it could come in.
It's a combination.
John, Sorry versus Battleship.
Oof. I remember playing Sorry as one of my first board games. It's a learning game. It's cards. It's counting. It's the slide, basic board game theory over Battleship, which is just, I tried to play it with my son and he just couldn't get the grid factor and whatnot. I'm going to say Sorry. Somebody want to challenge that or?
I'm surprised just
I am
because
too.
I know
I feel like you're
your
very passionate about
philosophy is,
Battleship.
is there a movie? Is there other brands?
Yeah. I know,
Can you bring it?
I
Can you, like,
know.
All right,
In this
Sarah,
matchup,
comes to you. Dominoes, the 26 seed versus the 34 seed categories.
Categories, no question.
All right, so it comes down to the final 4. The Game of Life and Scrabble versus Sorry and Categories. Erin, you're up.
And I'm gonna pick
Game of Life versus Scrabble.
I'm gonna pick Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Even though I've been pushing for life this whole time.
All right, Colleen, it goes Sorry versus Categories.
categories.
All right, that leaves the final 2, Scrabble versus Categories. Let's do a vote because we have five of us are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get a vote. I'm going to say Scrabble.
Of course.
Erin?
I really don't know because I genuinely enjoy both.
You got to pick one.
No, I understand that. I'm gonna pick categories.
Okay. So
can I just interject?
go ahead.
Why? And I wrote a note earlier. Is there a tablet version or an iPhone version of categories that you can play by yourself, or other like Words with Friends branded off and it's basically Scrabble? That's why besides my personal opinion of it, is that Scrabble is you can play people around the world on your phone, waiting in line at the bank or whatever it is. Can you do that with categories by yourself?
I don't think so. However, I don't like Word with Friends because
Neither do I. I'm a
any
purist.
word is a word,
Right.
and that to me is frustrating.
That's not Scrabble.
And I'm thinking authentic turning the board. Like
Right.
we have a rotating one, like big, heavy duty. We also travel. Like that's what I'm thinking is Scrabble.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
I don't think I don't know. You
All
don't
right.
have to be
You
a
get your
good
vote.
speller to enjoy
The
categories.
letters don't care.
Right. And the thing is, I think I love Scrabble, but I think it also discriminates against people that aren't confident in their spelling or don't have fun because they can't think of words with just the letters given to them. So I don't know.
All right,
I
sounds
think
good. So we got
categories.
1 and 1. Categories 1, Scrabble 1. Colleen?
Categories.
Ooh, 2
Easy.
categories, 1 Scrabble. John?
If I haven't made my point clear.
Scrabble 2, categories
Scrabble.
2, and it comes down to Sarah, who is the deciding vote. Sarah, what say you?
Categories.
Categories. I am just stunned. I am stunned. Categories with the win. They
Categories
went
is more
through
interactive.
Yahtzee, Clue, Throw Burrito, Dominoes, Sorry, and Scrabble to be our bracket winner. Send us your comments at podcast@mcment.net.
Let us know.
Erin will be happy to field those
Yeah.
Those
and
complaints.
get your comments. This concludes MCM the Podcast, episode 1, All Things Games. We hope you'll join us in the upcoming weeks for episode number 2, All Things Baseball, which will be fun. We should get Jack,
Involved.
your brother Jack, involved. Don't forget to also log in your answer to round 6 by the numbers. You're going to send those to mcment.xyz. This is Bill McMenamin signing off for the entire crew here at the MCM Entertainment Center. We hope we've made your day a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter, and thanks for bringing us into your world. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening. We would really appreciate your thoughts and feedback about the podcast. You can reach out to us on Twitter at MCM the Podcast. You can leave us a voicemail at 484-999-0180 or send us an email at podcast@mcment.net. We review all feedback and we might include yours in an upcoming episode.